Alrighty, buddy. One more time. Getting tongue-tied. I don't know why. Hey, everybody. Live with Neve here high in the Highlands overlooking beautiful New York City. I have the wonderful and talented guitar player Chad Quist from LA, Bellingham, all points south, north. And I see you're a Berkeley guy, which is also real cool. We'll have to talk a little bit about that. So, Chad, tell me, what have you been doing in this crazy time of COVID? How's the session scene? What have you been up to?
Yeah, the session scene, ever since the big studios slowed down a bit, everybody's doing stuff at home.
Yeah.
So, the session scene, as you know, has completely changed.
Mhm.
So it's not what it used to be. But, what I've found is a lot of people want to send me their music bed or their song and have me add some guitar tracks to it. So I do that at home. I have a studio at home. And
Right.
that's a great way to do it, and get some extra work. Try to fill in the gaps now that everything's shut down due to COVID, and we can stay at home.
Yeah.
It's perfect that way. Yeah, so that's primarily what I'm doing. But I'm producing somebody now too. Just a couple of demos and stuff at my home studio as well.
Excellent.
Yeah.
What are you recording on? Pro Tools, like everybody? Is that your preferred format?
Yeah, I do. I know Pro Tools really well because I've been using it for almost 20 years now.
Right. So
And
it's like your second language.
yeah, but I'm trying to learn Logic right now because I don't really like what Pro Tools company Avid has done to the format, and now
I
they're
get
on
it.
the thing, and I just don't.
Yeah.
They're selling products also that they don't service anymore.
Right.
Like the hack for us guitar players.
Mhm.
It broke. I can get it fixed. No one will fix it. I can't send
Right.
it into the company.
Yeah.
I just don't like stuff that they're doing. But Pro Tools, I guess right now is still a necessary evil.
Yeah, it is. I'm using PreSonus Studio 3 Pro, whatever it is, and I like it. It does, they're all the same. I mean, I could do this I started recording music on computers with little crappy Commodore 64 with like crappy MIDI before I went to Full Sail and stuff. And I'll tell you what, when I got there, all that time, and I was an older guy. I was like 30 years old when I went back. I'd been gigging since I was a kid, and it was just a place I had to go to learn the craft and get better at it. Sort of like it's like going to Berkeley, only not the same in that we didn't have, the culture's changed musically there so much too over the past 20 years, like it has everywhere. But
Yeah.
let's talk about Berkeley. How long were you there? When were you there? And what are your takeouts?
Well, here, this is the deal. It's like I kind of knew really early on that I wanted to do music for a career. And my folks were all about, you got to go to college.
Right.
And so I convinced them after my junior year in high school to take the GED and apply to Berkeley to go. So I did that, passed the GED, and they said, okay, well, if you can pass that, then we'll send you there early. So about 4 months after I turned 17, I went to Berkeley.
Excellent. I love it, man. Talk about no pressure there.
So this was back in the mid 80s, okay? And so it was a culture shock coming from Walnut Creek, California, a little bedroom community, just very, very insulated. And all of a sudden I'm dropped on the streets of Boston.
Yeah, it's a crazy city. I mean, it really is one of my favorite cities, actually.
Yeah, it's great. I
Yeah.
haven't been there in a while, but yeah. So I went there for 2.5 years. Was my stay at Berkeley, and a lot of people say all you need to go is 2 years, get all that necessary knowledge in, and then there on it's really just kind of specializing in the field that you want to go into. But if you just want gigging musician or just really get in the scene there and everything, then 2 years. So I got bored with being in school after 2.5 years, and
I get it.
I tried out for a working band. My parents at that point had moved up to Seattle, so I visited, tried out for a working band out of Tacoma, Washington, and at 19, I was hitting the road, touring from Alaska down to Vegas.
Okay.
And to me, as a 19-year-old, that was like the ultimate
I was
life.
going to say, we have similar life stories. Almost all the long-term musicians, we have the same kind of path. You find that when you talk to people. It's like, I was in my garage annoying my parents, and it's kind of funny.
Yeah. So that's how it happened. Yeah, I went 2.5 years, which was a lot more than a lot of people go to Berkeley.
Oh, yeah. We had dropouts the first day at Full Sail. It was just like we went in, it was like the simplest class, and we had an architect in the classroom who wanted to learn the physics of sound and be able to build nice spaces that actually sound good compared to a lot of architects. Most of them don't know shit about sound. I was lucky to have John Stark for a teacher at Full Sail. So I've been in the career doing all different things, studio design, PHX home surround studios, went to like Lucasfilms and took all the training classes and decided I really want to move out there and go to work that place. It was just such an awesome experience, and you meet so many people. And I know everything you do just helps you be a better musician, producer, person, all around. I mean, it's like
just
we're lucky.
Immersing yourself in that type of scholastic environment is amazing.
It's like a pot bubbling.
Person too, so I look back on it and I kind of wish I would have gone 4 years and actually gotten a bachelor's degree. Who knows what would have happened if I would have changed course there, but I've had a lot of good times doing what I do and played with a lot of cool people, so I don't really regret it, but it would have been, yeah.
I thought the same thing. I went for the 2-year program, and there was about 5 of us in the class, so I knew the first day in class, I was like, he's going to leave. He's definitely going to leave. And that guy in the back, I'm going to go sit back there. We're going to sit and make fun of the class for a while. You know how musicians are. The culture back then, everybody was a really good musician. But after I left, like, people would go in, I just want to produce records, and you're like, well, let's start with a target. What's your target market? What do you like? And then, I'm the kind of guy, I want to play it all. I want to learn all of it. Being a studio drummer, I want to know every chop I can steal from anybody out there, so if somebody throws me that, they say, play a pretty shuffle and make it pretty. I mean, I'm like right on it. The guy lives here and very close to me, so he's always playing in little clubs, and it's so cool to just go, Bernard, man, he just slaps the whack down like he always has. Very funny guy.
That's another thing. We have that in common too. I mean, I always looked at music as, this is something that I want to do for a living. Like I said, my parents said, hey, go to college if you're going to do this for a living. So it always made sense for me to try to learn every aspect of the craft that I could. So it's like, okay, you want to learn how to read, you want to learn how to play different styles, you want to learn how to arrange and all that kind of stuff. So I always thought that would just be natural. And so, now some people go, wow, you can kind of play everything, and I go, well, that's what I set out to do. Play, I play a little jazz, I play a little rock, I play a little fusion, I play some, Spanish music, whatever you throw at me, I like to play it.
Hell yeah. Well, that's awesome. I feel the same way. Back in the 90s, I was running in Tampa, and I had a band, and I also was in the installation business. So all these little clubs had either my PA in it, or I was playing there. I eventually kind of got a lot of business for all the clubs I played at. Worked for a sound contractor, and we did sound. We were a full stage production company, Donovan Audio. And, a lot of fun. You learn a lot, get to meet a lot of real cool people, and learn, from people watching them. Every time I go, I've been a music nerd since I was 8 years old, and all I can say is my parents used to do the same thing. They're like, you really, we had a family business, big chain of kennels. We had a couple of them, and it was, a good living. I love working with dogs. I was a vet tech for years between gigs. But I always was like, well, I got like 6 gigs next week. It was back when we really made a lot of money in Florida, touring 6 nights a week. You could play and make good money back then. Well, it's the same rate you get now. It's just, some of these clubs, they haven't changed the rate in 20 years. I'm like, something's wrong with this.
Oh, ridiculous. And you probably got tired of cleaning her out of your cases too, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Just greasy sometimes. So, what are you up to now? You got anything new planned? Do you got a secret bunch of songs? You got anything like that? Or are you just hanging, enjoying life for a while?
Well, just finished my studio earlier in the year.
Excellent.
COVID really helped. Yeah, it's a big one-room studio in a separate building on my property up there.
Oh, great.
So it's a different way of working. It's not the separate control room and
Right.
tracking room that people
Absolutely.
do. But I kind of got used to just working in one big room, and once you get used to it, it's cool.
I do the same thing because I'm just like, okay, we're all here. Let's play in a big circle. And, once you know how to mic things and you have, some chops behind your producer or your engineer, it's like so easy. I mean, to me, nothing like walking in the studio with good guys, putting the headphones on, just going, and you go, wow, man, the drummer, the engineer actually tuned the drums pretty close. I'd be like, wow, I can't believe it. You must be a drummer. And that's usually a drummer. And I'm like, nice job, man. I'm just going to bring in my snare drum. I'm going to tighten up your bottom toms just a hair, but I'm ready to go, man. Got my cymbals up. I don't need much,
There you go. I got a Gretsch Catalina kit in my studio. Yeah,
love it. Nice little kit. Yeah, they sound good. I'm using an old. Say again?
Yeah. So I mean, the studio thing, that's really helped with being slow due to COVID and all that.
Of course.
Yeah, but I've managed to do a little bit of gigging, and I've been doing it a lot. For a while. I did a weekly live stream out of my studio too, with a great bass player, drummer. We did kind of more of a hard rock type thing, hard rock covers. We were taking requests, so
that's a great idea, man. I love the stump the band thing. I used to do that and pissed off my band members. I'd be like, come on, I'm going to play a stump the band and ask somebody in the audience. They'd all be giving me the dirty look. They're like, you shithead. And of course, in Florida, some asshole's going to go, hey, can you play Leonard Skinner? Like, hell no. I mean, it's pretty weird down there. All I can tell you. You've probably spent some time in the South.
You gotta write the Skinner request on the back of 100, put it in the tip jar. That's what you got.
Yeah, that's up there with Margaritaville. I want at least $100 a man for Margaritaville. That's just, that's the going rate. So let's talk about when you started and, like way back when you were just a little chatty Quist. Were you like playing guitar at home, driving your folks crazy, or how was that rolling?
Well, I was playing guitar at home for sure. I started at 10, and I had an older sister that had a guitar, and she played a couple of tunes, Stairway to Heaven and stuff like that. And so I was like, I want to do that.
Right.
And I got an acoustic and started taking lessons. And it took me, really a couple of years to kind of get the feel of the instrument. But then I had a period from about when I hit about 13 where I really started accelerating. And 13 and 16, I probably put 50,000 hours in or something like that.
Dude, right. Let me ask you, did you have a band and a bunch of guys you just hung around with in the neighborhood? Is that typical bubble up from the bottom kind of thing? I'm going to repeat it. I think we're getting a slag here. Can you hear me, Chad?
Yeah, just got garage bands. I lost you for a second.
Yeah, sometimes we get a little crazy shit.
So, we just played with whoever we could in the garage. And most of the time early on, we weren't even playing whole songs. We were just playing riffs and whatever we could do.
Sure, right. Like I used to think we were writing songs and we'd really be playing like Inagata DeVito or something, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, and yeah, we'd set up at the local pizza parlor because someone knew somebody that worked there, and just little stuff like that. And it just got a little bit better as we went deeper into high school and people were getting better at their instrument, but still never was that great.
Right. Well, I think one of the things that's good about the recording schools in a school like Berkeley is you're surrounded by so much talent that, first of all, it gets your mind right. You all of a sudden realize, like, I always thought of myself as a big fish in a small pond. Then you go to some place like Berkeley or Full Sail and you meet people who are just like so ahead of what you're doing. And a lot of people get discouraged where I'm just like, I'm going to hang out with this guy and tape off, I'll get coffee and, run and get the tacos, go in and tune the drums, do whatever I could to get, session work. And, I had a dial-a-drum thing and it's like that was in the 80s and it was pretty good because I could charge, like, I'd say, look, you call me and you have an hour for me to get to the show with a gig. Get out your wallet, man. Send the list over and I'll be there and I'll be ready to go. Most of the time it went so smooth and the band would be like, I felt bad sometimes because they're like paying me more than members of the band just because their drummer crapped out. I used to joke with them. I'm like, if it was me, I'd take it out of his pay, man. Just tell him you owe us money for not being there, At any rate, right. I'm not really that mercenary about it, but you know how bands are. Always somebody got a gripe about something. Oh, we've had enough Taco Bell for this week. That's, back when I was younger, we ate some awful shit staying in the band house, some seedy bar in South Florida.
Oh, we didn't care what it was. It was those 7-Eleven burritos you throw in the microwave.
Oh yeah, those are good, man. And ramen noodles. You can feed 8 men with ramen noodles, 4 packs, and a couple of eggs. Here we go. It's breakfast. Call it breakfast, guys.
Oh yeah. I hear you're saying though about you just get around other people that are doing the stuff at your level or higher,
right?
And you just learn from them,
Right. And, it does. If you pay attention, a lot of people don't know when to just ask for help or to watch and ask questions politely. Most people I've asked who are really way good, if I ask them a question, like when I was younger, asked for some musical advice, I've gotten some good answers. Steve Gadd, when I was like 17, asked him if he had any advice for becoming studio drummer. I was like really busting his chops. I'm like, don't worry, I'll be taking all your gigs, man. All the A calls. You're going to be on the B-list, man. He was cracking up. And I said, so what's your advice for me, man? He goes, well, my advice is never leave your wallet in the dressing room. He said, always have that bad boy with you in your stick bag. And I was like, that's cool. It was a good answer. So, tell me, who are your, like, obviously you have kind of a pretty wide taste in music like I do. So you pretty much learn and just engulfed all of it as much as you could by osmosis, I'm sure. Stealing licks and learning. And Did you have any particular mentor?
I've gone through different phases of playing, so in the beginning I was just exposed to just like light pop and rock, to like stuff. And then I started getting more into progressive rock and stuff like Rush.
Right.
I turned into a Rush fan when I was in high school, and learned everything.
I love Neil Peart. I saw them like in '81 when they were first out in America, really touring it up, and I didn't know who they were. It was my friend goes, it was the band. Imagine who opened up for him, or they opened up for Head East. It's like this one-hit wonder, never heard any reason. And after Rush, I was just like so stunned. Being a drummer, I was just like, my friend was like, "You got to see this drummer." I never heard of him. Nothing. I start the show. I see him throwing sticks up over the truss, catching it, and then throwing another one up. It was like remarkable. And I just heard him. I mean, he's still playing an old Slingerland drum set. It's just like, how can you not hear that when you're 18 years old and learning to play? It's like, well, I love all the guys, Bonham and all them. But the first time you heard Neil, you just went, I got to listen to this guy. I mean, and what a gentleman, you know, cool guy.
Yeah. Well, that's something I didn't know I had in common with the band Rush. I've also opened up for Head East.
Never been any reason. Oh my God. If I ever hear that in a bar, I just like, oh God, I had to play it so many fucking times.
That's funny because I just actually learned it for the first time just a couple months ago.
Oh, no kidding. That's funny.
Yeah.
I want to say I was playing that stuff in a band I was in like in 78 or something, 79, 80 maybe, but I think it was like the last 2 years of high school kind of thing. And, you know, back then I was going to school in Massachusetts, so kinds of killer bands at Tanglewood. The band, I mean, I saw Joni Mitchell there. It was just like, what a great venue. Yeah. But let's talk about tech stuff. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh yeah, that anyway was a short tour with that I did with an original band that I had at the time, and we opened up for Head East and Rick Derringer.
Oh, Rick's a great guy, man. Yeah. I've hired him to do shows when I was working at a Florida aquarium, and we had a music series. So he's a really nice guy, and he still plays. I had to just pick his brain about how Steely Dan tormented him. I got to sit with him for a while and just talk Steely Dan, which is always, you know, I could go on for a month on talking just who played what lick on what album, or, you know, did Donald fire, you know, somebody amazing. I'll tell Larry Carlton to just go home for the day, and we'll think about what you're going to play tomorrow. The whole Walter and Donald thing.
Oh,
he said totally. He was. Well, Larry. He said that. Go ahead.
Too, Larry.
I'm sorry. The lag. I have to keep.
Yeah, Larry Carlton was one of my major influences too. I mean, after the progressive rock phase, I got into fusion and that type of stuff.
Yeah, I saw him with Steely Dan when they were playing the Royal Scam at the Beacon here in the city, and it was so great. My daughter's a wonderful young lady, and I turned 40. Her name is Asia, and so what does she do for my 40th birthday? She gets me front row tickets at the Beacon to see Steely Dan with Larry Carlton. Didn't know that when I first got there. I'm sitting in the crowd, and you know the opening chord to "Don't Take Me Alive," down, 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 where he just winds it down. And I mean, that's like one of my all-time favorite solos on earth. And I looked up, and I love the other guy. In fact, he lives here in Asbury Park. Harrington, John Harrington. He's a tremendous player. Guy knows like everybody's licks. But then when I've heard him do all of those songs without Larry, but nobody quite opened up. And I was sitting there, looked at my girlfriend, and I heard it, and I went, it's fucking Larry Carlton. He's right in front of me. He just did that opening, and I went, that's what they opened up with. And I went, damn, how much better can this get? Great venue, and he's such a nice guy. You remember that shit when he got shot in the throat back in the 70s? Did you ever hear about that? He had his.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, well, I got to open up for him on the first show that he came back from his shooting.
No shit.
In Seattle, I was playing in a smooth jazz band, and we played a place in North Seattle called Parker's. Mm-hmm. And he had just come back from that thing, and you know, we walked into the green room, and there was a heavy smell of marijuana going on, and I can.
Oh man, we can't have that.
That's, you know, he had to heal somehow, right? So.
I have a medical card now, so being, you know, I've always been a little off as a drummer. I told them they definitely need to sedate me. And I don't drink anymore, so it's like really crazy now. People thought I was kind of uncomfortable at times when I was a drunk, but, you know, now I joke. I'm like, hey, I'm your designated driver. And friends don't know I stopped a couple of years ago. They're like, I don't think so. I've driven with you sober, man. Forget about it. Not going to get in the car with you. I'm like, dude, I have literally, you can take me down. I haven't had a drink in 2 years. Something about the whole rock star diet. You eventually get old enough and go, I'm just done, man. I can't do this anymore. But it
got to slow down a little bit for sure.
Absolutely. It makes things a lot easier, you know? you don't get strange bills or funny tastes in your mouth in the morning. At any rate, so let's talk about your gig, your arsenal of guitars. What do you have? All the usual suspects and then some?
Yeah, my main guitars are Paul Reed Smith, and partly because they're very versatile guitars,
Sure.
and you can, they've got a five pickup splitter that, you're on the rhythm pickup, and you got this great full jazz tone, and then you go
Nice.
to the end of the spectrum on
Right.
that bridge pickup, and you're driving the amp with this
Right.
nice
That
rock,
nice, yeah.
you know. So it does everything. And so I kind of gravitate towards instruments and amplifiers that can go a lot of different directions. And I just kind of
Sure.
learn how to put certain things in, and
Well, it makes it
so
easier too that you know your gear, you walk in, So what kind of
yeah,
amps do you favor?
yeah, I really like Mesa Boogie stuff right now.
Okay.
What I'm playing. Yeah, and I do like a lot of the Fenders, throughout the
Twins and
years. I
stuff
have
like
different,
that.
like Vibrolux is
Oh
one of my
yeah.
favorite Fender
Very
amps.
cool.
But I have mostly newer ones. Um,
Cool.
uh, but they've been recapped and modded and all that
So
kind
they're
of stuff.
they're
So
just screaming. I remember working in a music store, and like when we'd get all the new Fender gear in, like the owner would leave at night, we'd hang out and jam in the store, and we'd crank up a Marshall, like back in 1975, 74. So there was some great, like we had orange amps. We'd try them all out. We had Fender, Gibson, and Rickenbacker, which is weird for a little local town store. But it's here in North Jersey. There's a million famous musicians living within 100 miles of New York. So it was a great
yeah,
little store. And I just went in there and badgered him until I got a job with him to trade drum lessons for 3 years. And my folks dug it, and I dug it because I didn't have to do a stupid paper route. I'd been doing paper routes to buy drums and shit. But that I'm like in there. It's so nice when you're a kid and you have like brand new gear or a big custom padded PA. I think we've all played one of those at some point.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I have one of these old Mesas, Cal 22. It's one of the old ones, like a 50-watt little 112, like Santana used to use, and it's got that spot that you hit, and it's just like. Oh, it's just like you get this Billy Gibbons stuff going in the hands of a good guitar player, and just a sweet amp. But I know now they're really nice.
Yeah.
What are you using as far as a Mesa? What do you got?
Yeah, I have a Mark V 35. Okay, so
Okay,
this you can switch it from 35 watts to 25 watts to 10 watts. Okay, and so
nice.
I almost always on the 10 watt. Okay, because that way I can keep it at a pretty low volume and find that sweet spot because a lot of the bands that I play in, you're always too loud, right? As
Of
being a
course,
guitar player, you're always too loud. That singer's got to be able to hear, and we want to get a blend on stage.
right.
Uh, so that amp does that really well. Um,
Hmm. Yeah,
so yeah,
I wish mine had I could step it down a little bit because this thing is, my neighbors are going to hear it. I have a neighbor over here was like Bruce Springsteen's, his name is Tinker. He's in the book, whole chapter on him. He brought Bruce out west and he lives downstairs and he's a funny guy. Like, I had my band practicing one time. We're up on the deck and he has the biggest Halloween party here in town not Halloween, St. Patrick's Day. Had to cancel, of course, for COVID, but he's always got the best party here in town. Like, everybody shows up. And he's a funny guy. He was like, yeah, I heard your band up there. It was a singer. He really sucked. And I said, that's me. I did suck that day. I had a cold. We were trying to rehearse, and I was just like all fucked up. And so I told him, I said, well, next time you hear me, we're going to have the whole band. I'll probably not sound so fucked up. I'm packing up, phlegm and stuff. It's like, more phlegm. Not. No. But so what is what is everything out west the same as it is here in New York? It's just kind of crazy and surreal. The city is like ghost town. I know you've had problems with the riding out there. Is that kind of like a drive around it kind of a situation? Not living there, I'm assuming when shit happens, you just go, I'm not going to go down there today. I mean, I don't know.
Uh, did you say the fires? Is that?
Yeah, the fires and all the riots. TV always hypes everything so crazy. You never know.
Yeah, no, it's very centralized. I mean, if you're talking riots or fires, really, you don't really have too much to worry about, except, the bummer was that we had a ton of smoke almost everywhere on the West Coast there for a good
Right.
couple of weeks. Really
Yeah,
hard to deal with.
yeah, it's just what you need down in California is some more smog,
Yeah.
Not that
But
today I'm looking at it, it looks like the May Day parade,
yeah. But out here, it's so spread out.
Yes,
It's so different from the East Coast.
right.
You're driving, 9 hours in between major cities.
Right, and
So,
there's a lot of nothing out there for sure. I don't think there's going to be too many people walking out into the desert or wherever, the mountains. It's about to start getting cold. I predicted a few weeks ago, I said, man, a couple of weeks of some really heavy rain, this shit's all going to sim down for the rest of the year, or at least until it starts getting warm again.
I'll tell
I'm
you,
not going out.
That's why I'm down in Southern California right now, because it became cold a good month ago up in Seattle already. Cold
Right.
and wet. So yeah, I drove my family down here. It's 12 hours to the Bay Area, and then it's another.
Beautiful.
Well, we went to the Palm Springs area, and it's
Oh, great. I love it there.
from there. So I have to drive home tomorrow. It's 20 hours. Just people.
Yeah, that's farther than from here to Florida to Tampa, for example. I can do it in 16 hours.
Yeah.
So do you do it in 2 days?
Yeah, we're gonna do it in 2 days. Yeah, I have a young baby, so.
Oh, right. Well, congratulations. He or she? What's he or she's name?
Yeah, his name is Lyric.
All right.
Going this week.
All right. And that's awesome.
Fantastic guy. He does pretty well with the traveling, but still.
Oh yeah, it's hard on a little guy.
Drive. You don't want to do that.
Yeah. Oh, I've been there. I have 3 kids, and I've been there. There's so much fun. My granddaughter's just so cute. She reminds me of my daughter and my mom. They all look so much alike, and it's just great fun. My kids are all grown up. I have one son who's going to be 18 next year, and he's like 6'4", so I kind of jokingly call him Sir usually. I mean, he's a big old boy. I don't know where he came. I'm like just under 6 feet, but they told me when he was born, the doctor said he's going to be like in the top percentile. He's probably going to be a basketball player or something. Sure enough, he comes to the door, and every time I go see him, he's in Rochester. I'm here in the city, but I go, and he's like, "Hi, dude!" Like in 3 months, I'm like, he's growing height and girth, and it's cool as hell because boys are, the toys for guys, for dads to play with their kids are so great now. I mean, I lived my second childhood buying him cool shit.
Yeah, I think my kid's going to be the same way. He's the doctor said the same thing about him.
Great.
So yeah, he's a stocky little guy. He weighs almost 25 pounds. He's only not even 10 months.
All right. Well, that's cool. He's going to be a little monster, man. He'll be playing guitar and hopefully.
Like
I love it. I remember my first born daughter, and I was so shocked that she didn't have my brown hair because my wife was a redhead. And we're in there, my wife's like, "Oh, can we get this over with? Anytime now." And I was just sitting there, and the doctor kept telling me, "Don't look over here." I worked at a veterinary clinic at the time. So I'm like, "Oh, I see this all the time. We foal cows and goats and whatever." And my wife's like, "You're comparing me to a farm animal?" She's like, "Ah!" And then my daughter comes out, and they hand her to me. And, I was like 20 years old. I did not hold a baby in a long time. I just looked at it, and the first words out of my mouth is, "Oh, my God, she's got red hair." And my daughter my daughter, she's named Asia, so I'm a kind of a rock and roll guy. You got Lyric, I've got Asia. And she's just the coolest kid. Both of my kids, my daughters are great. You know, a nurse and another one who's a teacher, and they're just. I feel great that they turned out so well in spite of their dad. You know, I mean, hell, they're great kids, and it's exciting. You know, you always want your kids to do better than you did. You know, and I feel good about that kind of thing.
And so, you know, there you go. And do you have red hair?
No, I have brown hair. Oh, I'm hearing some kind of noise. Oh, my producer's coming in to see if we're online, I guess. Okay. Hey, Julie. Hey, say hello to Chad. Julie, Chad's waving at you. You better look at us. We're getting a lovely view of your nostril hairs. Oh, God. Okay. Ah! She's going to kill me later. I'm sorry, Jules. You're off camera. No worries, babe. Julie's great. She keeps me out of trouble for the most part. Between her and my girlfriend, that's a tall order. Yeah. Hey, Jules, I'm on with Chad. Do you have any questions you want to ask him? Oh, she's closing out. I think she's going to join us in the room, terrorize me for breaking her up out of bed or whatever. She's not in bed, but I'm just harassing her as I can.
Good. Like a party. All right, great.
Absolutely. Here she comes.
Okay.
So, what's your favorite restaurant in LA? Just curious.
Oh I eat a lot of Mexican food when I'm in Los Angeles because
hell yeah, man.
Good Mexican restaurants anywhere up north.
Absolutely. I mean, we have some good Mexican restaurants here, and in New York, of course, we've got it great. But you know, certain like in Florida, the Mexican food's good, but nowhere like the South, Texas. You know, that whole area from Texas to California, the whole Route 10 corridor.
Yeah, there's some holes in the wall here that I like.
Right.
That they're just in strip malls in the valley that are better than any Mexican food that you can find in Seattle.
I believe that. Yeah, I've always I eat a lot of Mexican when I go there. And I was hoping for NAMM. I was just like dying this year to go see everybody and hang out and just, you know, play some cool stuff and have a good time. Yeah. Of course, they've had to cancel it, so I'm just seeing what she's got. Okay, good. I don't have any weird messages like you have something on your nose or your shive on your tooth. Well, you know, it's nice talking to you. I really think it would be great to play sometime. If you got an acoustic with you want to play some?
I do have an acoustic with me. I could play a little ditty if that's okay.
Yeah, play a little ditty, man. Give us some Chad Quist original music, live and unplugged.
Yeah, just a second. Let me grab it here.
All righty.
Okay, I got my Taylor here.
Oh, we love Taylor.
All right, my traveling guitar.
Good choice.
Yeah. Can you hear that? And okay, well, I'll play a little bit of a song on my record called Smokehouse.
All right.
This was electric originally, but I will do a little bit of this one. It's kind of a jump swing type of a song.
Great.
know, something like that.
Very nice. Kind of almost got a Steve Howe feel to it.
You were almost playing something in the same key there, whatever you were doing.
I was just banging on the table and kind of humming in my head a little bit.
Oh yeah, cool. That is track number 5 on my CD.
Okay.
And it has a really cool horn arrangement on it. It's all, you know, swing style with the horns kicking all over the place, and had a really great arranger on that for me.
Nice. Well, what's that record called?
It's called Mercury, and you can get it. You know, you can stream it anywhere, and you can also get CDs from my website and Bandcamp, and you know, the usual suspects.
Oh, the usual suspects.
Yeah, CD Baby.
Excellent.
Too. Yep.
Well, for anybody who's listening here, to me and Chad is an excellent guitar player from the West Coast. He's well-traveled, well-spoken. I think he's a cool guy, I have to say. It's nice to meet you. I've joked, I've met so many cool friends from Craig. Like, he's a great guy, and I believe, you know, good talent kind of accumulates together. You know, I've had him on the show a few times, and he's just a great guy and fun, and I just love him to death. He's a good fella.
He's got some good stuff too, that guy.
Oh yeah, he's definitely, and he's just, you know, he's working it, and I dig him, and it's kind of how it is with everybody I have on the show. I kind of check everybody out and go, okay, this is a cool person, you know. Life's too short to work with people who are jerks, you know. I find the most famous, the most talented people are always so easy to work with. They come in, they're ready to go. There's no BS, and it's just like the way life's supposed to be. Like at our age, playing music. If somebody comes in and they're not cutting it, it's like, why did you even come here if you didn't know? You know, you're here. You're in the cauldron. There's no faking your way out of this session, you know?
Oh, you're wasting everybody's time at this point, right?
Right. And the producer's freaking out because he's like, he's on his phone in the back room. He's calling up anybody he can get down there to get it in and get it out, you know? Something to be said for being a 2 or 3 take guy and then, you know, moving on.
Oh yeah, man. Focus.
Well,
those are my focus chords right there.
Right. All right. Well, listen, everybody. It's really great, Chad. You've been on with me for almost an hour, which is cool, and you're a really fun guy. Hell, maybe this COVID will end eventually, and I hope to be out on the West Coast. I got a lot of friends there, and you know, if I'm out there, I'm going to bring it on the road. Go out,
Neil,
see some.
We could sit here and do probably a 4-hour and not talk about everything. So it's been.
I think we can sit and talk for 3 or 4 hours, and we can cover. Oh, one thing I did want to ask you about. You play in a Heart tribute band, I understand. Heart by Heart.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
It is a what I call a hybrid band because it has 2 of the original members of Heart in it, Michael DeRozier and Steve Fossen. And we've filled out the band with myself, and we have 2 fabulous women in the band that take the Anna place. And we play on the East Coast too. We tour the country, so look out for us. It's called Heart.
Hell yeah! Listen, if you're coming out here to New York or Asbury, in fact, if you were coming here, let me know. I'll try and get you a gig in Asbury because there's plenty. It's just down the street and great place to play. Yep. Have you been here before?
I've played the Stone Pony before. Yeah, back in I want to say 2006 maybe.
Okay, well that's about half hour down the road, and there's a boat to New York from here, so you can just jump on a boat and be in the city in like 40 minutes.
I had a good time there, a fantastic time playing that place, and it was with Big Brother and the Holding Company. I used to tour with those guys. You know,
okay. Great.
Yeah.
Well, let me think. So tell me, before you go, how about you play a little Heart? I know you've got to have something that's some standard intro, crazy for you, or something like that. What do you have that you could play with as classic intros?
Well, I can see about doing that. I don't actually do this part. This is Lizzie's part,
right?
live. But you're probably thinking about
That's it.
And we all know the rest.
We sure do.
Rock on.
Rock on, my friend. Yeah, now that I know you're out there, I'm probably going to reach out to you to play some guitar in a few projects I got going on. You're a fun guy to work with. Hell, if you were doing tracks, I'd have to have you on my other Facebook thing, or like on some kind of Zoom, so I could just bust jokes and do what I usually do when I'm recording music with people. I tell them, the jokes, you don't have to pay any extra for them. It's part of the show.
Anytime.
Well, listen, I really enjoyed having you on, and stay in touch. I'll reach out to you periodically because there's like, once it's COVID, I want to hear you calling me up to say, hey, we got some gigs. We're going to be on the East Coast, or we're going to be on wherever you're going. I'll do my best to send some of my friends. I thank you for appearing on with us.
I think we are booked in Florida right now for January, and we'll see what happens.
Where are you going to be in Florida?
Oh, I think Sanibel Island.
Nice, great. I've played there a bunch. Very nice venue and place to play.
Awesome.
Excellent. Well, my family's all in Tampa. In fact, I'm writing a book about the history of music in Tampa. I put out some compilation albums in the 90s, and they were called Across Tampa Bay, and I had a whole who's who of everybody. And I've got Dickie Betts' sons coming on. I've got a whole bunch of cool people, that are coming on, and they're going to be on my book because it's a great way to open the door to get them on the show, for one thing. If anybody's played in Tampa music scene, I know of them. The past 10 years or 12 years I've been in New York, I don't know everybody, but everybody is still there, still gigging, just like when I left. If I go down there, if you look at my Facebook, there's like 9 million people from Tampa because I played there for a long time, and it's nice. So you never know. I'll stay in touch because if you're down in Florida and I happen to be down there, they're in Sarasota and Tampa Bay. Sanibel's not far, and just watch out for the crocodiles there. One of the only places in America that has estuarine crocodiles is from down there all the way around to like below Miami somewhere. And from what my friends tell me, they've got quite a few of them now. They're having a comeback. Just what you need in Florida is more, not even alligators, but now we've got crocodiles to worry about.
That's crazy. Well,
it is, but they make a great pair of boots, man. Boots make the man. Gotta tell you. My python boots too tight. Couldn't get it off last night. My girlfriend cried. Oh. Yeah, man. What do you think of Frank Zappa?
Oh, I listened to a lot of Zappa when I was in high school. I loved it. We would just sit around, listen to it, and just crack up.
Me too. I mean, I remember like learning the whole Apostrophe album, and just like my parents were all of a sudden, they're like, what were you playing this morning? I don't know where she's coming from, but I just got to whistle that dynamo hum. They're like, I like the Led Zeppelin better. They were really scratching their heads. My mom was super cool about that. Driving me to rehearsal with the bass player's rig in the car. And I'm lucky. I had great parents, and I just love them to death that they're still here. And,
Oh, dude, we have a lot in common for sure. Yeah, I had the same type of upbringing too. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Sure. Well, I hope we can. If NAMM comes, I'm gonna ring you up anyway because I'm really overdue just to take a road trip somewhere. I got friends like from Route 10 all the way to LA. I got a bunch of friends up north. So actually the trip you just took, I can see coming from, Florida, go 10 all the way out, Palm Springs for a little while, head to LA, eat some good food, and drive up to Bellingham. I got like friends from high school. I got you, and I got Craig, and you know, I've probably got another dozen friends who live there, and they're all like musicians going, "Fuck, you know, I need work." So
Yeah,
what
well,
can I tell?
south of Bellingham, but we're in the Seattle area.
Oh,
But
you're in the city.
Bellingham,
Okay,
yeah, Bellingham's a nice town. It's a college town.
right. It's all the you know the tech empire, so to speak,
Oh,
the tech
that's
lords.
Seattle, Redmond, and Bellevue. Yes, that is the
Right.
tech corridor there. It's the second Silicon Valley up there. It's crazy.
Yes. Yeah, it is crazy. Well, you know, I think if I was going to move somewhere, it's so damn cloudy, and I'd kind of go crazy in Seattle. I mean, you get used to it like anywhere. And I mean, so many, you know, I know that the attributes have to outweigh the negatives of the rain. Um,
Yeah, well, people stay creative. They stay indoors. They
mhm.
do whatever they're doing indoors, and they get a lot done, which is great. You know, when you're living in
Absolutely.
LA, it's Christmas time and it's 80 degrees out. You want outside, so you're
Absolutely.
getting less. Yeah, but what I do is you get a cheap plane ticket, come down here. Right now you can fly round trip from Seattle to LA for like $175, and
Definitely cool.
you just you get your son and then you come back. You know.
Yeah, right. It's nice. All
Yeah.
right, man. Well, listen, you sound like a great guy, and I know we've hit it off good. You can always tell, man. It's like when you meet musicians and you want to, like, everybody's doing the dance, they're sniffing around, going, "Let's see, who's, you know, is this guy any good?" And when you find somebody who's really good, it's like a private joke amongst the anointed. I don't know how to put it, but it's a great feeling when I can always tell. Like I had a bass player once that my guitar player. We're making a blues record. We're about to start the first day of tracking at my studio at home. Well, I had a day gig at the time. And so I'm like out selling Muzak all the time. And on Saturday, he had to pick somebody up in Lakeland, Florida, drive him to my house. Well, on the way, he's telling this guy who's never met me, he goes, "Well, Neil's fucking nuts. He's crazy as hell, but he's great fun to work with. And the studio's good. And he knows what he's up to." So he goes, "Neil's he's a little hot wired, you know. I don't know how to tell you because these two are from Mississippi." And it's a joke. I told Charlie, I come whizzing down the driveway and I see this guy standing in my porch and he flips a cigarette on the ground, right? I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, "What the fuck is this guy throwing a cigarette on the ground?" And you never can judge a book by its cover, you know? So I'm like, "Hey, you must be Tony. I'm Neil." And unbeknownst to me, he's like expecting to be just like Phil Spector or something. I'm not like that at all. But I was laughing because they characterized me in some fashion like that. He's looking at me like, but as soon as we went in, we just started like with a slow grinding blues where you're just like, 1, 2, 3, bah, ba-dum, bah, real fat back, you know, Mississippi shit. And it was like, there you go, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had a lot of fun, and Charlie's still down there. In fact, my horn player from up here played with him like I think last weekend actually. You know, it's such a great thing talking to your friends around the country when you hear they've got a gig. It's like he drove from North Carolina to go play with my old boy Charles because he's like, "I've been locked in the house. I'm just, you know, going out of my mind." Plus,
Yeah.
I would love to have gone with him for a weekend. Just go down and play and hang out and just do the hang thing. I got so many good friends, and plus with writing this book about Tampa, I'm like plenty to do when I get down there. My daughter's wedding got canceled in July, so I couldn't do that. I was going to go down and stay a couple of weeks extra and do like a producers roundtable. I was hoping to get Jack Douglas and a couple other really, you know, good people. And I'm still trying to make that happen. We'll just see what happens with COVID. If not, it's going to be like this. And this is a cool way. I mean, I theoretically could have played with you and I would have been listening to you. So we'd have been in time. I mean, I've done it before, and it can get weird if you have like latency like we do, because you're in LA and it's like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, for sure.
give my regards to you. Oh, go ahead.
I definitely hope we can hook up at NAMM if it happens. That would be a great place to
Absolutely. All right, Chad. Well, listen, everybody. Chad Quist, he is an excellent guitar player and all around. He's a mensch. And where do we find your stuff again?
Yeah, you can stream it on Amazon Music, iTunes, You can download it there. The usual places.
The usual suspects.
Spotify. You can also buy the record on chadquist.com. And there are links to Bandcamp and CD Baby. There, it's a actual physical CD and the download are both available there.
Nice. Yeah. Well, we're going to do some editing of this and add a little of your music. Is that okay? To put some stuff at the top and the back at the end of your music? Is that cool?
That's fantastic. Put as much of it as you want, man.
Well, great. Well, I hope that we get some new friends from your friends, and I hope my friends check out. Guys, if you're watching the show, everybody I have on here, we're all trying to make a living. So hit up Chad, buy some stuff. Buy it all, in fact. Tell him I sent you because I want to make sure I get my commission, Everything's got to get the, show me the money, man. Rock on, dude. All right, man. It's great having you on. I look forward to seeing you again, mate. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Here we are. Live with Neve. Hey, where are you? One last thing. I'm going to go for the obligatory ad. We're going to get an ad right now. Can you say, I'm live with Neve?
I'm live with Neve.
Yeah. All right, my friend. We'll see you on the download, man. Take care. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Buy some stuff from Chad, or I'm going to hunt you down. I'll be at your house lurking in the bushes. Bye-bye. All right.